keep everything smooth.
Yes, Lucky, thank you.
So is there like a
Live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside LeBriere Family Arena here in Aurora. St. Andrews College, the destination. The final of 3 games here on a Friday to close out the first 3 of this PHC weekend, this cross-division weekend. It ends with St. Andrews College and Mount St. Charles Academy. I'm Alec Murray, joined alongside Ethan St. Pierre. Thanks for joining us once more today, as we will bring 6 more games to you over the rest of this great weekend here in Aurora. But for now, the home side Saints against Mount St. Charles, and Lagambina tested right off the bat as he makes the save, and a faceoff will come down inside to St. Andrews' zone. Starting goaltenders, as for mentioned, Noah Lagambina gets the nod for the Saints here tonight. It'll be Devin Maloney in between the pipes for Mount St. Charles. As St. Andrews College will start out on the far side, it's Jacob Bolchi moving his way across the offensive blue line. Bolchi spins his man down. Finn Kearns on the near side, thought about it. Back up top to the point, shot, tipped on goal. Maloney tested early as well. St. Andrews College able to hold it. Finn Kearns fires, save made. Maloney. Rebound is cleared to the corner. That'll be dumped down the ice for icing on Mount St. Charles Academy, and both goaltenders getting into it early. Saints coming in PHC action alone. A loss and a tie, both to Shattuck St. Mary's. Trying to get that puck down in. Massive hit on the near side as Hagerman got thrown in hard. That'll be sent down the ice, and icing's waved up. St. Andrews College circling with it back up top. Long has it, a drive on goal. It is swallowed by Maloney, and here we go down after the whistle. Some pushing and shoving and a crowd forming down. It's James Roy getting mixed up in it, and things will have to be settled down in the Mount St. Charles corner.
That's one thing about this Saints team right here. They play very physical throughout the game, from Finn Kearns and number 20, Luca De Placido. Both of them very physical players here for the Saints.
Luca De Placido lining up on the near side. Just traded in the OHL his rights from Brantford to Oshawa in a deal. Going to be a nice piece for them upcoming in the next couple of seasons, as that one is tipped up and out of play. This faceoff will come back down inside the Mount St. Charles zone. Right to the left of the goaltender, Devin Maloney. Tied up off the draw is Magri. Able to get it back up top to the point, held in by Jack Young. Young back up top, high slotted drive. That one was blocked. Picking it up, Huang. He's got it in the slot. One-timer just sent wide. Fans behind the goal ready to erupt here, and a St. Andrews goal looking for one early on here in this one. Meanwhile, it's back the other way for Mount St. Charles. Cole Sabrin, the New Hampshire commit, works it down into the zone. Picked off and quickly back is Alex Juan. He's got it back at center. Into the zone, across is Magri. Connor Durbin forcing the issue down low. Coming in to help out is Ryan Murray. Murray lost it at center out of the far side, but held in at the point by Feener. Feener gets it back in deep. There's a hit on the end boards as Mount St. Charles trying to clear the zone. They just do. It comes out at center. Jack Young right on it for Sack. He'll dump it back to the point. Young for Murray, a shot right on, glove down by Maloney. He hangs on with 17:15 to go. Good start for St. Andrews College, tempo-wise, getting pucks toward the Mount St. Charles goaltender. We welcome our viewers from Rhode Island if you're tuned in to this Mount St. Charles Academy game. Off the face-off, trying to force it back up top to the point. Iacree gets it back down, but it's icing on the Academy. And a face-off will come 200 feet back the other way. Down inside Mount St. Charles territory. In to take the face-off is Nate Feener. Feener wins the draw, back up top to the point it comes. Pernick able to hold his own momentarily, but now it leaks out. Finn Kearns will play it back. Gets the C for St. Andrews this season, as that's going to be icing on the Saints. Kearns committed to UMass in the NCAA Division I, as that one's right on Lagambina, the save. The draft pick of the Sudbury Wolves this past draft, as it'll be sent right back down inside the zone. Big, physical, rugged defenseman, Finn Kearns. He'll move it through center. Back down low, Sack has it. Babcock plays it around the boards. It'll be played high off the glass and back down by Badarakian. And a massive hit on Kearns into the end boards, and that's not going to go over well with St. Andrews College. Kearns went flying into the end boards, trying to beat out the icing, and now he wants a piece of Hernandez. They have to be separated on his way out, and a chippy start to this one between these two sides. Faceoff will be to the right of Maloney. On the faceoff, it'll be picked up by Mount St. Charles, flipped out at center. Trying to get away with it. Out of the near side, here they come. Bodemien, his shot, Lagambina the save. And now slow to get up in the corner is Sullivan. Here's a shot the other way that goes high. Sullivan hunched over, trying to make it to the bench. He will, but he is in obvious pain. Grayson Turk into the zone. Cross seam pass. Couldn't find his man. Luke Isaacs now with it on the far side. DeGancey lost it. St. Andrews will move it back up the other way with James Roy. Roy after it on the near side. He's got it below the goal. Centering pass all the way through the slot. Nobody there for the Saints, so all the way back they go into their own zone. Connor Dervin off the boards but lost it. It'll be flipped up by Bodemien into the zone. A couple of really good 2010 born players on this Mount St. Charles team. Charbonneau one, Bodemien another. Back up top to the point they come. Mount St. Charles doing a good job. There's a drive on goal. Gambia the save. Battle for it on the half wall. Now it'll be out of center. Knocked down by McKyman. He gets it back into the Saints' end. St. Andrews making changes 5 minutes into this one. Meanwhile, here they come back the other way. Allen into the corner for Mount St. Charles. Lost it. And St. Andrews will carry the puck through center. It's Jack Young. Young drops it off. There's a drive on goal, turned aside by Maloney. Mount St. Charles trying to get it out of their own zone. It's Cole Sabrin. He'll get it out at center, fired right back into the zone by Feener. Sabrin will play it off the boards, looking to feed himself. Hagerman lost it at center. And St. Andrews will work it back into the zone. That puck comes out from the near side wall. Finn Kearns has shot off the end boards, looking for the redirect back out front. Could not get it to Feener. Feener's got it, sends it back down low off the stick that time of Murray. Trying to squeeze it in on the near side, shut down by Maloney. And Mount St. Charles will flip it off the glass and get it out. Kearns doing a good job down below the goal line, plays it around but not out. Held in, there's a drive wide of the goal. Kearns up along the near side wall, that'll be flipped out. McKyman can't hold the zone and it's down the ice. Maloney on McKyman. Massive hit on the end boards, and that zone is held momentarily. Now it's brought out the other way. Bodemien leading the charge, can't get to it. And now pushing and shoving, Charlie Sullivan and Wilson Bodemien exchange pleasantries, and both teams will make changes now. This face-off will come to the neutral zone.
That's one thing Coach Gator has really highlighted about this team is the physical play on defense. With the big defenseman with Nathan Bohanich standing at 6'3", as well as Finn Kearns. Big boys back there working well for the Saints.
That'll be flipped down the ice, and that'll be icing on St. Andrews College. Matthias Allen will step in to take the draw for Mount St. Charles. Can't win it. And St. Andrews College will start out of their own zone. Charlie Sullivan down the ice. His pass is going to be picked off, but held in the zone. There's a quick shot coming through. It was blocked. A one-timer from the point, fanned on, and Mount St. Charles will get it down the ice on the far side. Here they come, trying to center it. Unable to, and Kinsler lost it. Back the other way comes Sack. Through center, navigating is Jacob Bolche, a drive, and it's gloved down by Devin Maloney for a face-off. Face-off to the left of Maloney. 12-11 to go here in this first period, still looking for the game's first. Back to the point it comes, it's held in. Jack Young plays it along the boards, a centering pass, bounces through. Jack McKyman back for it, plays it around. Charbonneau can't get to it. It's back out at center. That puck off the stick, and Young's got to go back for it. Young plays it around onto the far side. It'll be collected there, and a turnover. Here comes Mount St. Charles in. Lagambina the save. In tight, unable to get a shot off was Isaacs, and back the other way comes Sack. Isaacs stuttering in behind his own goal. McKyman turns it over. Here's a drive wide of the goal. Glove down at center, but lost, and now here comes Isaacs back the other way. Isaacs, high slot, drive. Lagambina out to challenge. Top of the blue paint. He's got it for a face-off with 11:20 to go here in the first.
Noah Lagambina has been dynamite all year, playing really well as his counterpart in Chase Petrova. Those two goaltenders coming in, replacing two veteran guys that used to play for the team last year. Both of them have been playing really well this year. Two bright, very big bright spots for the Saints.
Yeah, I guess a 1.67 and a 9.18 will do in 9 games.
Oh, 100%.
That's not bad numbers from Lagambina. It'll be worked out at center. Here's the captain, Kearns. Look at him navigate. Center, a fire, and it's shut down by Maloney. Finn Kearns trying to get St. Andrews on the board first. Denied by Devin Maloney. For a big defenseman, how well does Finn Kearns skate?
Finn being a very athletic guy skating out there, being able to be a big defenseman, but able to go up into the neutral zone and being able to put the puck on net in front of the goalie is quite impressive here by Kearns.
Off the face-off, it'll be picked up. St. Andrews able to win it. There's a drive that got blocked out front, and now it'll be cleared by Mount St. Charles. Now here's a stretch pass. Allen just gets ahead of him. Massive hit out front of the Sack bench. Laying the body that time was Magri. Played up to the near side. Cooper Bordeaux will flip it out at center. Kearns could knock that one down. It's back into the Sack zone. Pernick can't clear the zone. It's held in on the back end by Badrakian. Here comes St. Andrews back into the zone. It'll be flipped off the stick and turned over back the other way for Mount St. Charles. Back in his own zone now, resetting is Di Placido. Luca Di Placido to the near side. He's in onside. Back to the point it comes. Livolsi. That one tipped on goal, sent to the corner. Livolski playing for the Toronto Marlboros U16 AAA, playing with St. Andrews College here tonight. Luca Di Placido out of his own zone. Still having trouble now. Still now getting hauled down in the corner, and here comes Sack. They do come away with it. Nate Feener up at center. Feener weaving his way through the neutral zone. A shot on goal. Blocker save made Maloney. Past the midway point of this first period. Still looking for the game's first goal as they'll get it out at center. Carscouted. He'll play it back in his own zone. Fired up by Jack Young, turned back the other way. Now it'll be knocked down, and Connor Dervins through center, but denied entry at the blue line. Jacob Bolche, he'll move his way into the zone. Bolche sent it to the corner, hard with a cross check. Play continues in a battle for that puck in the corner. And now they'll blow it down as nobody could free that up, and we'll get a face-off down inside Mount St. Charles zone with 8:46 to go here in the first period. Scoreless, Saints and Mount St. Charles. Face-off win. Badrakian can't get it out of the zone. Back down low, McIman. It'll be knifed off the glass and out as Jack Young couldn't hold the zone. St. Andrews will have to reset. Connor Dervin in his own zone lifts it up at center. That's as far as he gets. As now Jack McIman will control in his own end. Up on the far side, little knife pass out. Could not hit Dumas. And now the Saints have to wait to get onside. They do get onside. Moving to the outside. Now a shot from a tight angle by Nolan Long up and high. Kearns throws his body around, gets to that puck. Loose puck now. Here's Finn Kearns at center. Kearns had it lost in his skates. He'll slap it in deep. Tucker Sinclair. That one up down the ice. It'll be down into the corner. Played around to the near side. Badrakian trying to work that puck free, gets tied up, trying to center it out front, off a stick. And now Mount St. Charles will move it through center, not so fast as it's held in. What a great job by James Roy on the blue line. Now finally they'll get it out and down as St. Andrews will reset. Charlie Sullivan in his own zone. Sullivan, the Cornell commit. They'll work it out at center, and here they come back the other way. McGree leading the charge. Little feed pass, trying to go back to him. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Back to the point it comes, a drive, and Maloney makes the save. Picked up down low in the corner. Andy Huang. Hang, trying to work that puck free down low. Instead, it'll be worked out by Mount St. Charles to center. Di Placido feeds it into the zone for Bordeaux. Cooper Bordeaux leads it. Huang drives the goal. What a save made. Maloney. Loose puck remaining out front. And he's still got it on the far side. Andy Huang back to the point. Here's a drive. Score! Luca Di Placido from the blue line of Seeing Eye Wrister. And St. Andrews College strikes first.
Saints offense has been hot all throughout this first period, but Maloney has been able to hold it down in net, but finally Di Placido was able to go top shelf on this one. Great play by the Saints.
A moving screen out front of the goaltender. Maloney had no chance. DiPlacido finds a way. St. Andrews strikes first. And they take a 1-0 lead with 6:24 to go. Right back in on the attack is Zach Ryan Murray. Down below the goal line, played around to the near side, tried to center it. Murray back after it. D they'll go to the near side. There's a shot wide of the net. Back onto the half boards. It'll be lofted out high through center. Allen couldn't knock it down. And Turk's got to go back in his own zone. McHyman turns it over. Here comes Sack. Nate Feener on the outside wing. A shot turned aside. Big juicy rebound popped out, but it's going to be settled down by Babcock. Stretch pass is going to miss everybody, but Allen beats out the icing. He's got it deep inside the Saints zone, but instead Carskanen will come back to clean it up. That stretch pass is going to be tipped up into the Mount St. Charles bench, and a nice catch made by one of the coaches on that bench. And this faceoff will come to the neutral ice area with 5:24 to go. Here in period number 1, Sack up at a 1-0 lead. Thank you to Luca DiPlacido. Mount St. Charles back into the zone. Bobbling puck, couldn't get a stick on it. Now a drive on, Gambino the save. Catch and release. Here goes Carskanen. Down the slot. Fires it over to the far side. Able to hit Milani. Milani gets pinned into the end boards, and Mount St. Charles will regroup. Beaumaduien will leave it in his own zone. Hernandez coming in to help out as well, but Carskanen gets leveled. Massive hit down in the St. Charles zone, but Kearns holds the line. Kearns gonna tee one up through traffic, missed wide. Bouncing puck, and it's still held in by St. Andrews College. Kearns, what a job to jump and hold. And now it does leak out at center. Kearns gonna curl back quickly. He's got to get back on side. It'll be ripped back in by Panic. What action here in the dying stages of period number 1 is that centering pass on a tee there for Roy, couldn't bury it. Curling back up into the high slot and around is Nolan Long, a drive, it's high. Back in behind the Mount St. Charles net. Boy, they're back on their heels. St. Andrews, all types of momentum here in the first. Working it down low, talking out front. That shot is going to be stopped by Maloney, and finally a stoppage in play for Mount St. Charles, who needed it badly with 3:52 to go in the first.
St. Charles hasn't been able to get it out of their own zone. St. Andrews has been winning the puck possession, getting 16 shots on net already this first period.
Face-off deep inside the Mount St. Charles zone. It will be won back by them. McHyman will play it high off the glass and out at center. Missing it, gonna meet a 2-on-1. Back the other way, Allen a drive. Gambino the save. Off the face-off, it'll be played around on the far boards by DiPlacido. He's the goal scorer in the first. Cooper Bordeaux picks it up. He's flying down the wing. Bordeaux, a centering pass out front. Oh, he had his man. Sullivan just lost it at the last moment. Dumas back in for Mount St. Charles. Works his way in and fans on the shot. Flip back out at center. Knocking it down is Bordeaux, but couldn't go away with it. Allen's got it in his own zone. No rim it around, tap pass, and Dumas will work it out at center. Ricky couldn't get to it. It's back up at center. Going into the boards hard on the near side was Lavosi. Offside, Mount St. Charles, and that faceoff's going to come back to the other side of the neutral zone. 2:38 to go here in the first, and a 1-0 Saints lead. Off to face off, it'll be Connor Durbin out at center, but he lost it. Walking in and unable to get a shot off is DeGansey. Batterkean at center. They're trying to force it down into the sack zone. Tripped up at center. No penalty call. This play continues. Batterkean out of his own end. Gets wiped out along the boards on the far side by Livolsi. Livolsi trying to get that puck. Now they do. Back into the zone. Here they come. It's Jack Young along the near side boards. Young trying to work it back up top, down low. Molani down in the corner. Leaves it. Bolche coming out top. Bolche holds it momentarily, and now Isaacs will get it out at center. Bolche takes a heavy knee-on-knee collision. Play continues. Letting him play here in this first period. Bolche across the blue line, onside. It'll be knocked down in the high slot. Bolche couldn't come away with it. And that puck is going to be up and out of play with 1:22 to go. Kearns into the zone, he'll rip it in. Look it out, coming back out front. Couldn't get a stick on it. Hagerman, stretch pass into the zone. Good, Lagambina, save, rebound in the back of the net. They score, do they? No signal from the official. Looks to be a good goal. We're tied at 1 on a broken play into the zone. It's 1-1. Alexander Allen's going to get credit with the goal. David Manning is not happy behind the St. Andrews College bench, and he wants an explanation. They're going to talk about it. There was no signal from the official who was situated behind the goal line, and we'll see. They're going to wave it off. And now Mount St. Charles is going to have a conversation with the officials. They're not happy that it was overturned, but there was no call made. So they discuss, they decide no goal. As Lagambina was pushed into the goal, that's the correct call, 59.7. Last minute of play here in this first period. Tucker Sinclair lifts it up for Kearns, forced into the zone that time by Nolan Long. Played out at center and fired around to the far side. It'll be held in momentarily. Now Allen will chip it around on the far boards. Here goes Hagerman in for Mount St. Charles. Hagerman stops up, can't center it. What a great job defensively, James Roy. Back the other way comes Sack. Dying moments of this period. Looking for one more to get a 2-goal lead before the end of the first period. Sinclair gets dumped in the corner. Up top, all alone! DiPlacido scores! Luca DiPlacido doubles up. St. Andrews College doubles up. 2-zip Saints with 12.7 left. They cannot give that much ice to DiPlacido, and he makes them pay. A late period goal for Sack after Mount St. Charles had one waved off, and that's how quickly the tide turns. 2-0 instead of 1-1. Bolchi and Sinclair draw the assists on the goal, but Luca Di Placido, how about his first period? The Oshawa Generals prospect in the Ontario Hockey League. What a period. And the Cornell commit. Doubling up for St. Andrews College. He's got 2. And excellence from the goaltender Noah Lagambina, who was perfect in that first period. The one waved off, an obvious one. He was pushed into the goal, so no goal. But our first period scoring summary is pretty straightforward. Luca Di Placido has 2, the defenseman for Sac, and a 2-0 Saints lead after 20 minutes of play. I believe we're going to chat to Luca Di Placido down at ice level as Ethan St. Pierre is down there trying to rally the and we will send it down to ice level momentarily. As Di Placido collecting himself, and he'll have a chat with Ethan St. Pierre down on the St. Andrews College bench. Luca Di Placido of the St. Andrews College Saints. 2 goals for him in the first period, and a 2-0 Saints lead over Mount St. Charles. We'll step aside and take in the first intermission, and we'll be back here in Aurora at LeBriere Family Arena, the final game of this PHC weekend, the cross division, and the final one of this Friday. Saints on top of Mount St. Charles 2-0. We'll be back for period number 2 here in Aurora. Back inside LeBriere Family Arena here at St. Andrews College in Aurora. Beautiful day for hockey, great weekend for PHC hockey. As we finish up day one between Mount St. Charles Academy and St. Andrews College. It's been the Luca Di Placido show so far for the Saints. He's got two. They're up 2-0. Nolan Gambina, outstanding. Perfect, actually, in that first period. In goal for the Saints. Alec Murray alongside our St. Andrews College student colorman, Ethan St. Pierre.
Right now, Luca Di Placido has been running the show here for the Saints with 5 shots on net and 2 goals. Right now, his main focus for this game is to keep the puck out of the Saints zone and keep going over to the net, getting more shots on net and overpowering them with the offense.
Gotta think the Oshawa Generals love what they see from their newly acquired defenseman, Luca Di Placido, through 20 minutes. Let's see what it brings the next 20. As Babcock got the face-off, will flip it down inside the St. Andrews zone. Played up along the near side boards. It'll be picked up there by Alex Garskadden. The Princeton commit, far side, a drive. Goes just high. Oh, bidding for one right off the rip here in the second. Bouncing puck back in the Mount St. Charles zone. It's sent right back in deep. On to the far side. Kearns trying to hold it. He cannot. Back the other way comes Popovsky. He'll fire it in deep, and Mount St. Charles goes to work in the St. Andrews zone. Picked up on the back end by Di Placido. It's been a physical affair through 20 minutes as well. The hits just keep on flying here in the second period. Hit after hit, a chippy first 20. Expect more of the same here in the second. Meanwhile, here comes St. Andrews College through center. Look at him fly. Here's Sullivan to the goal. Couldn't get a shot off. St. Andrews holds it in to the backhand. Again, they can't get a shot off. That time it was Bolche trying to get on goal. Connor Dervin, stretch pass into the zone off the stick of St. Clair, and it'll roll to Mount St. Charles. Look at it at center. Boumedienne, centering pass out front. What a save, Gambina. He sticks that right pad down and keeps it out. As St. Andrews will work through center. Stopping up at the blue line, near side pass. They'll shift one on goal. Deflected up and out of play by Devin Maloney for a faceoff inside the Mount St. Charles end.
Nolan Gambina has been showing excellent goaltending throughout this game, and that's another save showing why he has a perfect shutout right now for the Saints, keeping Mount St. Charles off the board.
The Ottawa 67's crease duel for St. Andrews College. That shot right on, and it is gloved down by Maloney once more. Chase Petrova and Gambina, both draft picks of the OHL's Ottawa 67's. Gotta love to think they love what they see here in their two young netminders, Gambina especially. And Don Mills last year is excellent. Centering pass up top. One-timer in the slot. It's blocked out front. Well, Sack just picks up right where they left off. That one sent toward the goal. Sent back the other way, and here goes Sabrin. Sabrin chips it into the slot. Hernandez couldn't get to it. It'll be turned back the other way. Skip to the near side. Magri drops it off. Kearns back to him in the slot. Couldn't get a shot off. He was dumped by Boumedienne. St. Andrews relentless in the offense. A centering feed again off the stick of Ryan Murray. Played off to the near side, down low below the goal line. It'll be worked up top. Here comes Sack through center. That pass misfiring, having to go get it was Livolsi. Chipped up off the boards. That's as far as they get. Charlie Sullivan shuts it down. Sack back into the zone. Bumped off is Livolsi. Back to the point it comes. A centering feed. That one's shut down. Back out front of the blue paint. Tipped off a stick And Mount St. Charles will send it the length of the ice. That will go icing on the Academy. Off the face-off win, work back down low, centering, pass out front. And right there, Milani just taken away before he could get a shot off. Knife back the other way, held in by Sack. Karskanen in the slot, dishes off, tight angle shot, shut down Maloney. Back and around, and another one toward the Academy goaltender, and Devin Maloney once again soaks it in for a face-off.
Saints approaching almost 25 shots on net here, with shots led by Luca Deplacido. Absolutely phenomenal goaltending here by Maloney as well. Both goaltenders showing a really good showing here today.
Seems to be a theme here today. Good goaltending. If you missed the 4:30 game, you might want to go see. Great goaltending. Tap pass back the other way. Looking back toward that time for Milani. Yeah, one of the bigger upsets, and something I don't think a lot of us expected to see, was Shattuck St. Mary's drop their opening game this afternoon to South Kent. Stretch pass up at center, Karskanen off the boot. He's got to go back in the zone for it. That pass is going to be knocked down, and no icing. They'll wave it off. Milani, first man on it for Sack, leaves it there. It's going to be picked up by Roy. Finn Kearns trails, fires, rebound Kearns, it's blocked. Two grade A chances for Finn Kearns. Now here comes the Academy. They're back the other way. A drive on Lagambina says no, and it's up and out of play. Well, the defensemen tonight for St. Andrews College have been all over the place. Finn Kearns trying to get his paw prints on this one.
Finn Kearns with his sixth shot of the game, just going right up on into the crease of the goaltender, and then getting his own rebound and making the shot. Luckily did not be able to put it in the net.
James Roy up along the far boards. It's picked up. Here comes Sack. It's Roy in. Oh, what a save. Devin Maloney said no with the glove, and Mount St. Charles stay down two. They'll come into the zone. Back the other way and drive. Lagambina to save. Kearns gets across the St. Andrews logo back to himself. Maloney the save. Kearns is dumped. End-to-end action here in the second period. Back and forth these two go. How about the shift from Finn Kearns?
Finn Kearns, one of the hardest working players on the Saints, as we can see, going up and down the ice, delivering hits, taking hits. That's why Finn Kearns is the captain of the Saints team.
Kid's going to be something special. He's got a great hockey career ahead of him. As Kearns corrals in his own end. Stretch pass. He hits his man, James Roy. Kearns dumps another man down in his own zone. Meanwhile, the rest of them are down the ice. Picked up down in the corner, back to the point. Here comes a shot. Bobbles on goal. Stick explodes. Back to the point for Sack. Oh, they're threatening here early in the second period. Looking for more. Sinclair has it down low. Centering feed up top. Long off his stick, but he's got it back down low. Long in behind the goal. Centers it again off a shin pad. Back up top to the point it comes. Deplacido has it. D to D. Oh, Sullivan sends it to the far corner. And that'll be sent down the ice, and that will be icing. As we got some pushing and shoving. No, it's going to be waved off. So not icing, and St. Andrews College will continue to come down, and that'll be covered by Maloney to slow things down here in the second. What action from the Saints down in the Mount St. Charles zone.
It seems like the Saints have just been living in the Mount St. Charles zone throughout this entire game. Like I said before, they've been able to get shots, approaching almost 30 shots this game, and it's only been halfway through the second period.
Face off out of the zone as Connor Dervin's got to go back for it. Far side pass in after it is Nate Feener. Drops it off. Looking out front. Tons of bodies everywhere trying to center it. Unable to is Bordeaux. Hagerman gets it down and out of the zone. Now St. Andrews back. Dervin. Battle for it in the corner. Hagerman has it. Lost it in his boots, and now Dervin's got it. Played out to the far side. Quick snapshot coming from the point wide. Freed up there. McIman. And now it'll be fed out at center. Lost in the skates. Hagerman can't get to it. Instead, it's turned the other way and fired in by Livosi. Here goes Allen at center. He had the goal waved off in the first period. Allen pushed off by Kearns. Stretch pass up at center off the skates of Magri. They get it back in deep out of the near side boards. Ryan Murray has it, centering feed up top. It'll roll on goal. And taking no chances, Devin Maloney will cover. Face-off won by the Saints. That shot well wide of the goal, back around, and now it'll be sent in. Race for it as Christian Hernandez heads in, a centering pass, and nobody can connect with it. Back down low, it's Finn Kearns with it. Kearns will skate out of his own end. Slowly, he'll feed it to the near side, hits Ryan Murray into the zone. Sack will change, wholesale changes for the Saints. That'll be fired down the ice. Icing's waved off. Is back to pick it up is DiPlacido. Carskaddon for DiPlacido. Here he goes again. DiPlacido. Chris Cross fires that shot off the shaft of the stick of Maloney. Now he's creating another offensive opportunity for the Saints, and DiPlacido again. And St. Andrews looking for a third here in the second. Right off the faceoff, it'll be picked up by Bolche toward the goal. Tumbling to the ice is Milani, and it'll be cleared. And that'll be icing. Carskaddon off the faceoff. Tipped up off the boards, and it'll be cleared through center by Zach Charbonneau. Back in front of their own goal, little feed pass in, and Huang missed it. It's right back in. LaGambina plays it in behind the goal. St. Andrews out at center. Turn back the other way as it's picked off. DeGansey. Now circle back in their own zone. Grayson Turk with it. His pass is intercepted. Here they go back the other way. Offside. Milani a step extra on a face-off in the neutral zone. Jack Young will rip it in. St. Andrews will control back to the point. Here's Dervin, a drive, tipped out front. Maloney the save. Dervin's got a race back for it. He's got it. Young. For Dervin. Fired right back in by Mount St. Charles, and Sack looking to take advantage of a change. Here they come back up. Nolan Long weaving his way into the zone. Long poked off the puck. Staying right with it, trying to send it in deep instead. It'll be knifed off the glass and down the ice. 9:10 to go here in the second period. Still a 2-0 Sack lead. Di Placido, both goals, both in the first period. Face off to the left of Noah Gambino. Kearns picks it up on the wing. He'll fire it across. Feener. Down into the corner, trying to center it. Feener gets it back. Onto that far side, Huang. On the blue line, try to chip it back up top. Somehow stayed in the zone momentarily, but now it's out at center. Fired right back in by Sack. Kearns holds it in. That one deflected on goal. Oh, good chance out front. Bordeaux, he couldn't settle it down. Kearns calling for it on the near side point. Working his way out of that is Feener for Kearns. He'll let it fly, tipped wide. Back around to the point. Panic. Fires it in. Sack's got to get onside. Instead, they'll change. Going to be right on goal. He's going to have to cover is Maloney, as he had Magri right on his doorstep, and a face-off will be inside the Sack, or inside rather the Mount St. Charles zone with 7:55 to go in the second. Hagerman. Babcock into the zone. He'll fire a shot, which was blocked on its way to the goal by Magri. Poked up, but can't get away with it. Back into the Sack zone is Sullivan. Stretch pass, tipped down in. Hustling after it is Livolsi. Hernandez missed that pass, and back for it is Sullivan. And that'll be icing on the Saints, so face-off will be down inside the Sack zone. 7:13 to go here. LeBriere Family Arena, thanks for tuning in on day one of this Prep Hockey Conference cross-division weekend. All the East will play all the West, 3 games apiece. 3 games tomorrow, 3 games Sunday. Tomorrow we start at 2 o'clock right here at St. Andrews College, and Sunday, bright and early, 9 a.m. Fired around to the near side. It'll be picked up by Hernandez. He lost it on the back end, and a good job. Here goes Bolche. Bolche gets across center. He'll flip it in. Karskanen attacking down low. Bolche to the point. Blue line. Shot coming through right on. His body's falling on top of the goaltender, Maloney. But he's able to hang on for a faceoff.
We see that Mount St. Charles must have changed something during their meeting after the first period, playing a lot better defense, keeping the Saints out of their zone, as well as being able to be on the puck and limiting shots on nets for the Saints.
Back in below the goal line, trying to center it up top all alone. Back door, and one too many passes for the Saints. Back out front, they work it. Malani. Karskanen trying to cut to the middle. He lost it, regains it. Shot coming through, bouncing on goal, steered aside by Maloney. And that puck will be cleared down the ice. It will not be icing as Jack Young's got to retreat. He falls down. Young loses it in behind the goal. Sabrin trying to center it out front. He can't get to it. Karskanen also can't clear the zone. Hernandez plays it back in. And now St. Andrews will vacate their zone up through center. Moving his way in is Nolan Long for the trailer. There's a shot whistled wide. Back in behind the goal, a wraparound attempt. Down is Maloney. It's under him. A whistle goes, and now here we go. Beside the Mount St. Charles goal, we got penalties coming. Punches being thrown down low. That's Christian Hernandez on top of Jacob Bolche. The two of them having to be separated. Nolan Long as well.
Hernandez has been one of the more physical players here for Mount St. Charles. He's been all over, laying bodies on some of the big defensemen here for the Saints. One of the star players here for sure by Mount St. Charles.
So having to sort things out here. Looks like 2 for Mount St. Charles, and they'll send also 2 for the Saints. So offsetting.
It's like Bolche and Durbin in the penalty box for the Saints here. Connor, actually younger brother of Kieran Durbin, draft pick by the San Jose Sharks. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was actually Vancouver Canucks. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Tearing it up for the Kingston Frontenacs in the Ontario Hockey League. Durbin. What an exceptional player he's become and is looking to become. Kearns throws one on goal, and he gets another one through. Maloney the save, and here we go. Kearns exchanging pleasantries with Wyatt Britton.
Wherever there's contact, we seem to always be finding Finn Kearns around that. Little chirps here from the Saints fans.
The home ice advantage. Up top, here they come. High slot, firing. Save made Maloney. Another good scoring chance for Nolan Long. Massive hit on the far side. Bodies continuing to fly here in this one with under 5 to go. Nolan Long has it in the corner. Still has it. He'll play it back down low. Picked up by Roy. Kearns going to step up, near side circle. Kearns off the post. How does he do it? What a play by Finn Kearns, and he almost had his first. I mean, he's got to have one by the end of the night tonight at some point. You got to think the way he's playing.
Finn Kearns approaching almost 12 shots here during this game. You know, he's bound to get a goal as the defenseman going up into the zone and trying to put the puck on net. Phenomenal work by Finn Kearns. He's bound to have a goal here this game.
And now looks like St. Andrews is going to go to the power play. They are.
An advantage here of having boarding here at St. Andrews College is making sure to have all your student section be here almost every single home game. Great advantage here we have here at St. Andrews College.
Back up top to the point, and it's going to come out as Charlie Sullivan couldn't hang on to it. Bouncing puck up onto the near side, O'Sullivan. He lost it, and here comes Mount St. Charles. Centering pass, Lagambina intercepted it. Nice blocker save. Back down the ice the other way. It'll be picked up by Huang. Huang into the boards on the far side. Feener trying to work it free. Huang bumps it back up top to the point. In Sullivan, it comes out. Haven't been able to get set up on the power play, and $1:15 to go. Tap pass. Here they come back into the zone. It's Feener. He'll dish off on the far boards. Ryan Murray in behind the net. Murray up and around. Huang to the point. Little game of catch. Huang walks in, he's shot, and it's blocked out front. That one stings, and a ton of pain out front, but able to stay on. See if St. Andrews can take advantage. Down low, power move, save made Maloney. Rebound, he got it too. Bouncing puck comes up into the slot. It is cleared by Mount St. Charles, and they'll get a much needed change. Sack will move through center. DiPlacido gets hit along the boards and fires it in. It'll be sent around to the near side, but the Saints are offside, so they got to retreat back through center. 19 seconds to go. Back into the zone they come. Tucker Sinclair. Sinclair back up top, the Rimouski draft pick. Far side, Kearns thought about it. Now's got it back up top. Holding, DiPlacido thought about it. It was deflected wide, down low, power play set to expire. It does now, and it's back to even strength, and it'll be cleared at center. DiPlacido. Kearns moving his way through, it'll be fired in. Nolan Long back to the point, held in by Kearns, and now it gets out as he'll go for a change. DiPlacido, lone man back for Sack. DiPlacido trying to fend off his man, finally gets some help coming back into the zone by Magri. Sabrin fires it in. Sabrin going at it with Nolan Long, and we got a penalty coming. Sabrin and Long taking jabs at one another at center ice, and we'll see here. Sabrin in some pain down on that far side. Looks like Mount St. Charles is going to go to the power play. They are, so they drag one. Nolan Long, the lone penalty on the play. And the Academy a chance here with the $1:44 to maybe get on the board. Off the face-off. Karskanen gets tied up with it. Isaacs, and they'll set up on the man advantage. Charbonneau lost it. Could be a break on the far side. Andy Huang in on the boards. A shot right on his stop by Maloney. That was Cooper Bordeaux rather streaking in on the far wing, and Maloney keeps it at a 2-goal deficit. Back to the point, a shot gobbled up. Maloney again having to be called upon here late in the second. Off the face-off, it's back at center. Fired down by the Saints. $1:30 to go in the power play. Mount St. Charles looking to get set up. Here they go. Grayson Turk out of his own zone, feed pass. They're in, onside. Batrakian down low. Karskanen picks it up. He's in a ton of pain. Slow to get back up along the near side boards, but they hold it in. Here's a shot on goal. Lagambina the save, and he hangs on. Face off down inside the Saints zone. Hagerman battling on the end boards. Hernandez, he'll pull it out. Hernandez to Sabrin at the point they're set up. Sabrin skating it on the near side circle for Hernandez. How big would a goal be here for Mount St. Charles Academy? Circling back on the far side, winding in, a shot is blocked. Hernandez back up top. Allen skating in, thought about it, down low. Hernandez, there's a tight angle shot. Lagambina the save, it's loose, and here goes Lagambina throwing punches down in his crease, and the Saints come to their goaltender's rescue. Lagambina not shy to get right up in the grill of Allen. Nothing will come out of it with 17.3. Boy, we got a fun third period lined up for you in this one. Stick snapping on Allen off the faceoff, but they control. McKyman, near side Sabrin. Sabrin, near side circle, fires, it's blocked out front. Great job on the defensive end, DiPlacido. Centering feed, broken up, it's gonna go to the near side boards. One more centering pass, that will do it for period number 2 here at St. Andrews College in Aurora. This final game of day number 1 of this PHC Cross Division Action Weekend. And St. Andrews will take a 2-0 lead, much as they did after 20 minutes, after 40. Same deal, 2-0. As they're on top over Mount St. Charles Academy, Luca DiPlacido. The only 2 goals in this one, both coming in the first period, and no scoring in that second period for either side, but Noah Lagambina continuing to play outstanding as he continues to be perfect for St. Andrews College, who look to get in the win column early this weekend. As once again, we'll send it down to Ethan St. Pierre down at the bench level. He's going to grab somebody from that Saints line. We'll wait and see who it is. Looks like it's going to be Andy Huang. It is. So Andy Huang down low at the bench of St. Andrews College after 40 minutes of play. We'll send it down to Ethan St. Pierre.
My speed is my main weapon in the generating offense, and I'm also trying to use my shot a little bit more because I know I have one of the best shots here.
That's perfect, Andy. Now, take me through. Right now, no goals here in the second period. What's some things here we need to do the change to be able to get those scoring opportunities?
I think we need to keep up the pressure, obviously go to the net more. The more you go to the net, the more touches you're going to get, and we need to create more second chances and get more first touches so we can, sustain pressure in the offensive zone.
That's perfect, Andy. Thank you. Good luck for the third period.
St. Andrews College, a 2-0 lead after 40 here at LeBrier Family Arena here in Aurora. We'll step aside, we'll head to the second intermission, and we will be back for period number 3.
Technical issues, sorry about that. Check. Check. Test.
Welcome back inside LeBriere Family Arena here on the campus of St. Andrews College in beautiful Aurora here this weekend for PHC.
It's been a phenomenal game for both teams right now. Right now, Saints leading with the shots from 40 to 18 here. Saints have been a powerhouse on offense, but the second period, Mount St. Charles Academy figured out a way to stop the shots getting on net and going inside for a goal.
Our PHC Showcase weekend has been a great first day of hockey between 6 teams. We've seen upsets, we've seen goals, we've seen great goaltending, and we've seen a little bit of physicality in this one. St. Andrews up 2-0 on 2 goals from Luca Di Placido tonight. Should mention, too, as the break was going on, former St. Andrews College Saint Sebastian Del Elche scoring his first OHL goal with the Ice Dogs tonight, so congratulations to him. As that's a rock hit on the near side boards, and we get a whistle here in the neutral zone.
Already the physicality starting to boil over right now. By big hit by number 37 for Mount St. Charles Academy.
This faceoff will take place in the neutral zone. 2-0 lead. Mount St. Charles trying to mount a comeback here in the third period. Lofted down into the St. Andrews zone. Played around on the near side boards. Battle for it. Isaacs. Loose puck in the circle. Isaacs corrals in the slot. He had a man, but he missed him. That one floated on goal. Gambino the save. Rebound is sent high and wide. Back around to the far corner, trying to knife it out of the zone. Does not work. It's held in on the back end. Grayson Turk steps up. We got a penalty coming. Isaacs walks in a shot. It's blocked. It's going to be on St. Andrews. They'll touch up, and Mount St. Charles is going to the power play. It's the trail official who made the call. And we'll see what it was. It's going to be cross-checking, yep. So a cross-checking penalty to Evan Pernick will put St. Andrews shorthanded.
Pahanic, like I said, one of the big defensemen here for St. Andrews College. Being physical is really good, but you got to understand how to keep it in the rule book.
Well, let's see if Mount St. Charles can take advantage of it. Under a minute into this third period, down 2. Back to the point it comes, held momentarily, but it comes out. McKyman. Now he's got to go back. Sabrin has it. Sabrin, the Division I commit to play at New Hampshire. UNI, as they're referred to, as that one is into the zone. Hernandez has it on the near side circle. His pass is going to be picked off. Here we go, shorthanded Nolan Long. Tried to play it off the boards to himself, but Hernandez came back to pick it up. Centering pass, Hernandez in the slot. Couldn't get a stick on it, and it's cleared by St. Andrews. One minute expired in the power play. Sabrin through center, into the zone. Look at him go, lost it. Rink wide pass, Sabrin collects. Skips it up, his pass is picked off and sent down the ice by Magri. Wired down into the zone, first man on it is Bordeaux, and he'll clear it. 20 seconds to go on the power play, one last rush for MSC if they hurry. Boumedienne into the zone. It's Isaacs. Isaacs steaming in. Isaacs to the goal. Save. Another save. Lagampina got both. That one centering it out front. They score. And finally able to find one past Lagampina. It's Zach Charbonneau, the 2010 born player. And he's cut the deficit in half. It's 2-1.
What a momentum shift here for Mount St. Charles. Getting the rebounds after multiple shots on net. Vlad Gambino has been a brick wall for the Saints so far this game, but Mount St. Charles has finally been able to break through it and erase the goose egg.
Charbonneau, who's a member of the Mount St. Charles Academy U15s, scores one of the top level. And he's got his boys back within one. See if Sack can answer. Centering pass, it bounces through the stick of Nolan Long on his way to the goal net. It's back down the other way. Picked up in the corner. Trying to work this puck free. It'll be brought out by Roy. Into the zone onside. Nolan Long centers it out front. Scooped up there by Devin Maloney, who hangs on. All right, so this one gets a little bit more interesting with 16 left to go in the third. Got shrapnel on the ice down in the Sack zone, so we'll gather that. Face-off win St. Andrews. They'll sift it down in deep. Sullivan centering pass out front. What a save. Pouncing on the rebound and covering is Maloney. He's been great.
Maloney, a great display of goaltending again. He's been able to stop almost every shot after the first period. He's been able to make big improvements and big shifts after that first period.
Not almost, he has. He's been perfect. Faceout will be down to the left of the goaltender. One back by Sack. St. Andrews trying to change it here. Near side, Donna's shot. And just fighting it off to get a piece. That's the youngster, Lavosi. That is a big hit along the near side boards. And another one gloved down by Maloney.
Lavosi being called up from the U16 team must be pretty nerve-wracking, but he's been able to play throughout this game with a lot of confidence and has a couple shots on nets. Young man's doing great for himself for being a 2010.
And the 2010s are showing out here this afternoon. We've seen some pretty special ones, and a penalty coming here. It's going to be on St. Andrews. Hooking's the call down below the goal line, and Mount St. Charles will go to the power play.
That is the third penalty here for St. Andrews College, and that's number 12.
Starting to kill themselves as Ryan Murray will head off for two or less, and what an opportunity this could be. They've been out of it all night long, and a chance to get right back even here on a power play. Back to the point it comes. They will set up on the man advantage. McKyman on the blue line works it down low. Hernandez back up top. They'll sling it. Allen. McKyman looking for options to the far side. Here is a shot that goes high off the stick of Cole Sabrin all the way around and down. That's the guy you got to watch on this man advantage is number 19, Cole Sabrin. You mentioned UNH commit. Here he comes. He can fly. Look at Sabrin split through the defense. Poked off his stick at the last moment. Good play by Jack Young. Allen able to hold the zone. What a pass across. McKyman down low. Sabrin out front. Gambino, what a save. Right pad save. That would have been tied at 2 if he doesn't get a pad on it. Allen back at the blue line. Near side Hernandez skating in. Opts not to shoot it. Allen. Blue line, walks it, high slot. Hernandez skating in. He'll flip it over to the far side, Sabrin. Sabrin, low dot, fires it on. It's tipped on goal. Down is Gambino. He's got it, and he covers for a faceoff.
Gambino showing off those amazing pad skills on the lower level, saving 4 straight shots in a row, and now things are getting chippy here between the Saints with Alex Karskaden at number 18.
Karskaden going back and forth with Allen. Face-off will be to the left of Lagambina. Mount St. Charles wins the draw. Back to Turk. Turk onto the far side. He hits Badrakian. Down low, they're looking for options. Bodemien, the other 2010-born player on this Mount St. Charles team. Bodemien down low on the goal line. He'll spin off Finn Kearns, trying to bring it out front. Bouncing puck as Lagambina shovels it back behind the goal. And now Finn Kearns will loft it up and out. Now it could be a shorthanded break. Milani just could not get there as Turk able to get back in time with 15 seconds to go on the power play. One more rush for Mount St. Charles and the man advantage. Murray getting set to hop out of the penalty box. Here they come. Turk drops it off. Isaacs couldn't get it, and it's back the other way for Sack. Back to even strength, 5-on-5 as DiPlacido into the zone. DiPlacido, a centering feed out front. Nobody could get a stick on it. Milani has it along the near side boards. He lost it to Turk. Turk will feed it up and could not hit Isaacs. That's going to be icing as Charbonneau can't get there in time on Mount St. Charles Academy with 13:21 to go here in the third period.
The power kill has just been phenomenal by our Saints here, being able to get the puck out of the zone, clearing it, and making sure that Mount St. Charles Academy does not put the puck in the net.
Off the face-off, it'll be tied up, but ultimately won by Mount St. Charles, and now they'll pull it out of their own zone. Centering feed, bouncing puck in the neutral zone, now flipped in by Ben DeGansey. DeGansey out front, falling to his feet, trying to get a shot off, he could. Now he's in a battle out front. We got another battle going on alongside the far boards there. Getting tied up is Sullivan. He had Allen to the ground. Andy Huang down low. Magri trying to free it up. He's got help with Charlie Sullivan. You can hear the official. Let's move it. Mount St. Charles will get it back up top to the point. Popovsky held it for a moment, but now it's back the other way with Sack. Trailer, near side, here's Magri, couldn't get a shot off. Skipped up and out of the zone, but right there's Jack Young to pick it up. He'll throw it back out front. Trying to fire that puck in deep. Instead, it'll be collected by Connor Dervin. Dervin, near side, it'll be tipped up into the Mount St. Charles zone, but not for long. Back the other way, look out. There's Dervin with a hit. Meanwhile, Mount St. Charles a 2-on-1. They score! Nolan Ayakari ties it at 2, and we're back to square one here in Aurora.
Phenomenal speed just coming off the front end, and then off the rebound, number 11 was able just to chip it right in for the goal. Just a little bar in. Phenomenal play here by Mount St. Charles, and now we're all tied up at 2-2.
Ireki, the second goal of the period for Mount St. Charles. 2 in the first for Sack, 2 in the third for Mount St. Charles, and here we go with 11:46 left in the third. Tell you what, we've been treated to some great hockey here today. Close games, goals, little bit of everything. And now, can Sack find a goal here? They haven't scored since the first period. Penalty coming, it's going to be on Mount St. Charles. On the near side, delayed call, it's Jacob Bolche. He'll drop it off for the trailer, Karskaden. To the far side, skating in. Trying to come back out front with it. 6-on-5 with the delayed penalty. Back around to the near side, still haven't touched up. Now they will, as Angerman will touch. And here's the call. Head contact is going to be the call.
We got to see a little bit of chippy play over there in the Saints zone, but then Nolan Long was able to scoop up that puck, take it up the side, and try to create a scoring chance here for St. Andrews.
So now, St. Andrews College with a chance and an opportunity for a power play of their own. 2-2 hockey game here in the third. Back around to the point. DiPlacido's got it. He's got both. Near side, tap pass, they score! Nolan Long gives St. Andrews back the lead. It's 3-2 and a power play goal. It took 8 seconds.
Nolan Long last series was trying to get a goal and was not able to make it happen, but 8 seconds later he was able to put the puck in the net and give the lead back to St. Andrews College.
A face-off win and a puck toward the goal. It's in the back of the net, and Sac doesn't surrender their lead for long. They're back on top. Physicality continues. Hagerman with DiPlacido right out front. Now here's a pass bouncing over the stick of Bordeaux. He would have had a clean break down the wing if he caught it cleanly. Bordeaux circling the offensive zone, drops it off. Huang trying to shake his man. He's got Magri. Loose puck rolling in the slot. Hagerman will pick it up. His pass up, looking for Allen. Couldn't get. As Sac will go back in their own zone. Point shot, tip wide. Allen back in the corner. Centering pass, bouncing puck. Legambina deep in his crease, and it'll be pulled out by Connor Durbin. Durbin to the near side. He's got Bordeaux. Bordeaux's got Durbin to the goal. There's a shot trying to play it right off the pad to Bordeaux, but could not. Back the other way. Here's Hagerman. Hagerman poked off his stick. Loose puck out through center. It'll be back inside Mount St. Charles zone. Batter Kean looking for a call, and they're not going to get one. Sac will move it up along the near side boards. Lavolsi to the goal, crossing the net hard, back across. Down is the goaltender. Maloney got it. Somehow he got a piece of that puck and kept it out. More of the St. Andrews that we saw in the first period with this momentum. Knocked down back in the zone. Panik throws one down in deep and covering Maloney for a faceoff with 9:01 to go here in the period.
We got to see Cooper Bordeaux having a lot of scoring opportunities here up the right side, having a couple shots on net, making a lot of scoring opportunities here for the Saints. Boards is actually the only American out-of-country player from Detroit, Michigan.
Back to the point they come. A shot blocked on its way to the goal. It'll leak out at center. Finn Kearns flips it back. Little tap feed looking for Karskanen, but he'll play it back in his own zone. Kearns on the defensive side. He'll get across center and wire it in. Bolche on it on the half wall, knocks his man down, but out at center is Sabrin flying around everybody. Sabrin! And he tried to pick the top corner, but Legambina with a big save. Played out of the zone. Here is Karskanen. He goes into the near boards hard, but gets it in deep. Flipped up onto the near side, and Sabrin's back out at center. Sabrin moving through, trying to drop it off, rolling puck toward the goal, never got to Legambina. Instead, it's picked up back the other way by Sac. 7:50 to go here in the third, a 3-2 Saints lead over Mount St. Charles. Back up in the neutral zone, here could be a break. Nolan Long, but it's whistled down at offside. Saints. Played onto the far side. It'll be worked up and picked right back off by St. Andrews. Here's James Roy. He'll dump it down into the zone. It'll be played around by Kozlauskas. Loose puck after it is Long. Long's got it down low, trying to move out front. Lost the handle on it, and now Mount St. Charles will move back the other way. Charbonneau in. His shot snapped high and up and out of play. And here we go. We got two players tangled up out front of the sack net. That's Long tied up with DeGansey. Face off, that one sent high right off the draw, back around. Huang, his pass to the wrong stick, as Isaacs will fire it right back in. And up and out of play. Skipped high off the glass, back is Jack Young, the lone man for St. Andrews, and this puck will be picked up in the neutral zone. Turk will fire it in. Connor Dervin back in his own zone around to the far corner. He'll play it up. Huang trying to force it out, could not. Dervin's got a double take. Jack Young off the boards, bouncing puck, could be a 2-on-1, back the other way. Here comes St. Andrews College. Magri across, couldn't get a shot off. Back up top to the point. It comes. D to D, far side shot coming through traffic and seeing it all the way. Maloney have a point shot from Connor Dervin.
Jack Young has been displaying a lot of great defense here, being able to clear the puck, blocking shots, and getting scoring opportunities for the St. Andrews College Saints.
Young, an OHL draft pick of the Barrie Colts. Mississauga, Ontario native. 2009 born defenseman. Sack wins the draw off the end boards, back out front, and that one is sent just wide. Curling. The ozone in the high slot, a shot, nobody in front of the goaltender. Maloney saw it all the way from Jacob Bolche. Face-off win, sack. Kearns lofts one in deep. That one off a stance and takes a weird hop, and now Hagerman gets by one man in on the near side wing, trying to slide it across. The Gambina save, rebounding got it too. Back the other way comes Sack. Bolche gets his man. Karskanen fires, and he could not beat the goaltender. Maloney stones him. Under 6 to go. Hagerman up on the near side wing. He gets hammered in, feeds it in, trying to center it, picked off back the other way. Now we got to tangle up down here in the corner. Meanwhile, back the other way, it is Melania's shot. Stop. Now we got two going at it down in the corner. It's Alex Karskanen exchanging pleasantries, and now down at the other end, we got action as everybody is in on it. Down by the Mount St. Charles goal.
Crunch time right now here for the Saints and St. Charles Academy here. Everyone's getting chippy. Everyone wants to make a play. This is some good hockey right here.
That's Babcock, who was in a tangle with Karskanen down in the St. Andrews zone. Didn't want to drop the mitts, but they wanted to. You could tell. The smart play was to not. They didn't. And then that led into a scrum down at the other end as well. So we'll sort things out here. We'll see if it's going to be and they're going to send them both.
Jacob Bolche already. My apologies. Jake DiCapo is already serving his 2-game suspension here for the Saints. St. Andrews College does not want to lose any more players, and unfortunately they just lost Alex Kartskaden.
One of the leaders on this team, one of the veteran guys on this team, Alex Kartskaden, who's a Princeton commit. He scored some big goals, had some big moments for the Saints team throughout the years. He has the long march to the dressing room, and I don't believe it's going to be a fight. Most likely a 10-minute misconduct, so that'll do it for his game, but most likely no suspensions coming. They didn't drop the mitts, so, but we'll see how it is ruled. You didn't see much of a reaction from either coaches, so obviously they understand the call. As Lagambina bounces back out front, nonetheless a big loss for Sac. Also on the other end, Babcock gone for Mount St. Charles. They got a player injured on the end of the ice. He's still down in a heap. Meanwhile, back the other way comes St. Andrews College. That's going to blow it down. And
another big hit by Luca Di Placido, just doing his thing as a physical defenseman here for the Saints. Also the 2-goal scorer here for the Saints in the first period.
If that's Sabrin, that's a massive blow to Mount St. Charles. And now, standing out front of the Mount St. Charles bench is Luca Di Placido. That is Sabrin. Cole Sabrin, the UNH commit. We've talked about his excellence, how good of a hockey player he is, how good of a future he has. And he has still not gotten up down on the ice and out taking a look at him. And he's holding the back of his neck, so not a good sign. His helmet's off, and Cole Sabrin will skate off under his own power, and somebody just got ejected. Somebody just got thrown out of this game. Sabrin off the bench in a heap behind, so hopefully all is good with the young star of Mount St. Charles. And now we'll see who else got sent. But for now, under 5 to go, and this one getting ugly here. 3-2 hockey game. Flip down the ice, and that'll go back. Picked up there by Jack Young. Young will play it along to the near side. Batterkean in his own zone will corral in the corner. He'll play it off the boards up to the near side. Charbonneau, he gets stood up at center. As St. Andrews will send it back the other way. Far side, Nolan Long creeping in. Here's Long to the goal. What a save, Maloney! He stones him with a left pad, and Maloney keeps it a 1-goal game. Long was bidding for a second of the period. Long up at center. His pass is picked off. Charbonneau fired right back down into the zone. It'll be slowed down in by Maloney. Turk out of his own end. Tagansky lets it go. Charbonneau. His pass is picked off, and Finn Kearns will reset in his own end. Kearns, what a pass to the near side. It's deflected. Just able to get a piece of it. Bordeaux. St. Andrews controlling. Far side pass. Finn Kearns up top. Stepping in. He'll fire. It's blocked. And out at center. 3:20 to go. Turnover. Out front. Great stick on the back. That's a game saver. Panic. Excellent play on the back end as St. Andrews will get it back down low. Allen leaves it for Popovsky. And a whistle offside for Mount St. Charles.
Pahanic has been playing some great defense here for our St. Andrews College Saints. You know, with playing some physical hockey as well as getting sticks on pucks to create centering passes.
Yeah, he doesn't get that stick in the way there. That's a one-on-one, and you put all your eggs into Lagambina's basket. So Ponick coming up with a good play. Under 3 to go in this third period. That stretch pass will go down the ice, and it will be icing. The Saints will start out of their own end. Stretch pass to the near side, and that'll roll down the ice. No icing, it'll be waved off. McKyman back for it. Chipped off the far boards. Now we'll start to keep it. Big hit at center ice. Charlie Sullivan, my goodness. As I was about to say, we'll keep our eye on the goaltender, Maloney, in between the pipes for Mount St. Charles. And this just might be the time here. You get a draw deep in. I wonder if a timeout's called by Mount St. Charles, or do they let their guys roll?
Massive momentum shifter there by Charlie Sullivan with a punishing blow throughout the middle of the ice. Sure, the boys on the bench really got hyped for that one. Let's see what the Saints do with this momentum.
So no timeout's going to be called by Mount St. Charles. They're going to leave their guys out. Goaltender creeping his way out of the net. Maloney. About 10 feet out of his crease. If it's a face-off win, he goes. If not, he stays. He's got to stay momentarily. It'll be flipped out at center. Here on the far side, it's Long busting in. Long with the game on his stick. Couldn't bury it. Long circling back. And they'll bring it out at center. They got to get him out of that net. It'll be picked up Turk. He'll work. There goes Maloney. Turk into the zone onside. Maloney creeping toward the bench. Still in the goal for Mount St. Charles. Long to the near side. He's got Roy. Roy busting in a shot. Turned aside by the goaltender Maloney. Buck 19 to go. Mount St. Charles can't get him out of the net. He's got to go. He's got to go. He can't. They can't get it out of their own zone now. A minute to go in the third. Here goes Allen. Into the zone. Charbonneau. Band on it. It's picked up by Allen. Andy Huang. Huang in. Centering pass up top onto the backhand that time. Onto the far boards. Kearns holds it in. 39 seconds. Huang down low. He gets hammered into the end boards from behind. And oh boy, he's down in a heap. And the Saints don't like it. That's a really bad hit late in this one. And the linesmen are going to have to separate things down low. 31.5 to go. And the Saints are going to the power play.
Big hit into the board by Mount St. Charles offense there.
Boarding's going to be the call, and Jack McKyman will sit for the last 30 seconds of this one.
Thankfully, Andy Wong was able to get up after that hit into the boards. Last 31 seconds of play here.
Face-off win sack. Back to the point. They're just going to try and salt this one away. They're going to hold it up top. He's got to pass it off. Does Luca Di Placido. Long. Going to hold it. He'll skip it to Kearns off the boards. 13 seconds, and Kearns is Finn Kearns is going to skate it back in his own zone, and the captain is going to wind this one down for the Saints here tonight. Finn Kearns will stick handle it as the final horn sounds, and that'll do it. St. Andrews College wins a tight one over Mount St. Charles 3-2. And a tight contest for sure between these two squads. As Luca Di Placido, 2 goals in the first period. It was answered by 2 goals for Mount St. Charles in the third to storm back. It was tied at 2, but then Nolan Long on the power play. Seconds in, he buried it. And St. Andrews wins this one. We'll go grab Nolan Long down at ice level as we'll pop down there right now. And we will be back tomorrow for more PHC action.
Great game here by both teams, by Mount St. Charles and St. Andrews College. Little statistics for you. St. Andrews College, 3 goals on 52 shots on net, and Mount St. Charles Academy, 2 goals on 28 shots. 2 goals by Luca Di Placido and 1 goal by Nolan Long in the third. A little thank you here by the Saints. Noah LaGambina saving 26. Phenomenal job inside the crease for the Saints. Has been playing very well all year. One of the top performers here for the Saints. Nolan Long with that go-ahead goal to give the Saints the win today. Been playing great hockey all year for the Saints. And now we have our post-game interview with Nolan Long and Alex.
Down here at ice level, Nolan Long. Nolan, big one for you guys. You blow a 2-goal lead in the third period. You come back, you get a power play. What was the mindset?
Yeah, I mean, after blowing that 2-goal lead, you know, we really know we need to get the next one. The next one's the most important, and we were just fortunate to get a good bounce there. We knew we had to capitalize on that power play, and we were lucky to do so.
What would you like out of your team today?
You know, it was a good effort. I think we're going to take this effort into the rest of the weekend. We know we got good competition tomorrow and on Sunday, and I think if we keep playing the way we are, we'll have success.
How about your young defenseman, Luca Di Placido? How can you describe his game tonight?
Oh, he's a special player. He's a 200-foot defenseman, and you saw that shot out there. You know, he's got some offense to him. He's a great player for us.
Nolan, thank you, and best of luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Nolan Long, game winner for St. Andrews College here tonight. We'll sign off from LeBriere Family Arena. St. Andrews wins this one 3-2 over Mount St. Charles. We'll be back tomorrow for more PHC action here in Aurora.